Just got new numbers, and the flu in Oklahoma continues to get worse. 36 people have died. And take a look here. First, positivity rate nearly 40% across the country. That means 40% of people who are feeling sick get a flu test at the doctor, and that test is reported back to the state. That does not include people who are not getting tested. Also, hospitalizations continue to climb. Right now, 800 people are hospitalized with the flu or flu complications. Yes, now to talk about those numbers, we have Mike Monell with the Oklahoma State Department of Health. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. My goodness, nearly 40% positivity across the state. In central Oklahoma, it's higher than that. Talk to me about the context here. Have we ever seen rates this high?
Yes, thank you, Abigail, and great question. So just to give a brief overview, currently we are seeing flu activity at a very high risk level for Oklahomans. This is primarily being influenced by the widespread geographic rates that we're seeing across the state. We are seeing high levels across the entire state of Oklahoma, and the data is showing that unfortunately that activity is continuing to increase. Your question about have we seen levels this high? So flu can be unpredictable. There's a lot of variance from year to year. The last time we had a flu season with numbers this high was the 2017 to 2018 flu season. And during that time, we did see that the predominant strain of influenza was H3N2, and that's also actually been the predominant strain that we've been seeing this year. The data that we're seeing on our end is suggesting that the peak activity should occur within the next few weeks, which is also what you'd expect to see in a typical flu season. While respiratory and flu seasons can run anywhere from the months of October all the way through May, typically historical levels do peak around the month of February, which is what we anticipate to see this year as well.
Okay, well there's light at the end of the tunnel, so that's some good news there. I've known so many people who have been sick, and I'm looking at the positivity rates here, and I mentioned it, nearly 40% positivity. Explain to us what exactly a positivity rate is.
Yes, great question. So positivity rate refers to the number of individuals that are swabbed in our Sentinel provider network that are suspected to have influenza or influenza-like illness that then come back positive for influenza.
So to be clear, the positivity rate, that only includes people who have been tested. That wouldn't include, say, a child who tested positive for the flu and then the rest of his family gets sick and everyone assumes, okay, we all have the same thing, but they didn't necessarily go get a test. So do you think rates are actually much higher than what is recorded here?
That can be kind of hard to ascertain and determine. Typically, that rate is just the swabs that we end up getting to our public health laboratory.
And you mentioned hospitalizations. Just in the past couple of weeks, our hospitalizations have really accelerated, unfortunately. 795 hospitalized in the latest batch of data with flu. So not only are a lot of people getting sick, but many of them are getting very, very sick. What are you seeing as far as severity goes right now, and are these hospitalizations historic?
Yes, so these hospitalizations are lining up more with what we saw in the previously kind of historic levels of influenza season back in 2017 to 2018. Hospitalizations and rates of positivity are looking to be fairly similar to that season. Again, that was also a season where the predominant strain was H3N2, which is what we're seeing this year as well. So the trends are kind of following that previously high season that we experienced back in 2017 and 18.